Immediately, Jonathan left the restaurant. He went straight to a notable gadget store and bought the camera. When he got home, he set it up and looked for the perfect spot to hide the camera. He checked several spots but decided on a spot right above the main entrance door, where Veronica would usually start her display. Moments later, Veronica came home. On seeing his wife, Jonathan asked her where she was coming from. "Oh, honey, I'm coming from the post office," replied Veronica. "No, no, 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 don't honey me. Why are you just coming back? I'm very hungry. I have not eaten since morning," said Jonathan. "I'm so sorry. I'll quickly prepare something for you to eat. There's actually food at home. It's just for you to heat it up," replied Veronica. "Oh, so you are sending me to the kitchen to go get myself food to eat?" asked Jonathan. "Oh, no, no, it's fine. I'll get the food myself," said Veronica, as she hurriedly dropped her bag to head to the kitchen. You're going to make me food?" Jonathan asked in surprise, wondering why she's not firing back at him as usual, as he hoped and prayed that she is not aware of his plan to expose her. "This woman, hurry up, oh. I'm tired and hungry. You should have thought about me before leaving this house. You didn't even tell me you were going to come late," Jonathan continued, hoping to trigger her. "I'm so sorry, honey," Veronica replied, leaving Jonathan even more confused. But he is determined not to give up until he gets justice for all he had gone through in the marriage. So the following day, he resumed with another plan in mind. Veronica had gone to work, and Jonathan made sure he came back home earlier enough. Immediately Veronica came back from work, Jonathan simply said, "I want a divorce," knowing fully well that the statement will trigger her. On hearing this, Veronica took a step backwards and asked him to repeat what he just said. So he repeated himself audibly, saying, "I want a divorce. Haven't I told you not to ever say that nonsense again? Are you not tired of getting married? Where are you going to? What is wrong with you? If you ever utter those words again, I will destroy you," said Veronica. Jonathan got up from where he was sitting. He has her exactly where he wanted her. "You will destroy me? For what? What did I do to you?" asked Jonathan. Veronica gave him a slap and said, "What did you not do? Answer me. What did you not do? Have you forgotten that I have people that will testify against you for battery? Testify against me for battery. Have I ever touched you?" said Jonathan. "You have never touched me, but it's your words against mine. Even your own sister will testify against you," replied Veronica. "Let's see the proof. Let's see the proof of me hitting you. Things that they have never seen before. Or is it all those makeup that you show them that is your proof? Look, let me tell you something. I have lawyers that will prove you wrong," argued Jonathan. "You know what? If you ever open your mouth to talk about divorce again in this house, I will kill you. I will send you to prison," said Veronica. "You will send me to prison? You know what? I am ready to go to that prison right now. It's better to be in prison than to remain in this marriage. Get all your evidences ready and send me to prison. I am ready," Jonathan said, and turned away to leave her presence. Suddenly, out of anger, Veronica pushed him and he hit his head against the wall. He fell down and passed out. Veronica went ahead to kick him, asking him to get up. "Jonathan, get up. Is this a prank?" But he did not respond. Out of panic, Veronica decided to frame him up again and started her usual drama, throwing herself all over the place so that people can think Jonathan is hitting her. She called Janet on the phone and started crying. Janet said she was going to call the police and come over. She said, "No, no, no, please don't call the police," acting as if she was protecting her husband. Then she continued crying, saying, "He was hitting me and I mistakenly pushed him a little. Now he's not getting up." She continued crying as she ends the call. She dropped the phone and went ahead to kick her husband, who laid motionless on the floor, saying, "How dare you try to leave me? You don't even know me. I will destroy you. I will end you." As she kept shouting and ranting, all of a sudden Jonathan woke up. At this time, she had gone to put bandage on her wrist so that people would believe that truly she was battered. "Oh, honey," she said, You are awake, thank God. What happened? Jonathan asked. You fainted. That was what happened, replied Veronica. Jonathan paused for a while to recollect what happened. I fainted, or you pushed me, said Jonathan. Why were you threatening to leave me? You know I love you. I know you were only joking. Just then there was a knock on the door. Veronica went to get the door. On opening it, there were two policemen standing at the door. They came in. On sighting the bandage, they asked her if she was all right, that they got a call from someone, that they were asked to come to this address, that there was a fight between a man and a woman. Veronica replied that she was okay and that there was no fight between she and her husband and that they are okay. When asked about the scattered house, she replied saying she was trying to go into acting and that her husband was just trying to help her out. They asked Jonathan if he was okay. Veronica answered for him, saying he's fine, he's just tired because he has never done this before. The policeman asked again, directing the question to Jonathan. Veronica had to tell him, Baby, answer now. Then he reluctantly said, I am okay. Afterwards, the policemen took their leave. Veronica felt a little relieved. Later that day, Janet came around hoping that his brother would have been arrested. She said to Veronica, why didn't you tell the police the truth when they came around? You are the one making him do this to you. You're letting him get away with this. Why would I report my husband? I don't want him to get into trouble. I love him, said Veronica as they were talking. Jonathan, who had been upstairs in the room, came downstairs and demanded that Veronica takes off the bandage on her wrist. She said, Baby, why are you doing this? You know that you stabbed me. Take off the bandage, Jonathan repeated. As she was about to remove the bandage, Janet asked her not to bother removing it, but Jonathan insisted. When she removed the bandage, lo and behold, there was a deep cut on her wrist. Jonathan could not believe his eyes. He said, You are sick, shaking his head. Janet felt ashamed of her brother and told him how wicked he is to have done this to his own wife. Jonathan left their presence, wondering why someone would inflict injury on themselves just to prove a point. Janet continued to convince Veronica to report her husband to the police before she left that day. Days later, Patience came to her daughter's house, and Veronica was wondering what she was doing at their house. Patience said, Your husband called me and asked me to come, that he had an important announcement to make. As they were talking, there was another knock on the door. It was Daniel, Jonathan's best friend. Did my husband invite you as well? Asked Veronica. Yes, Daniel replied as he sat down. Jonathan came downstairs to attend to his guest. Veronica asked him, Baby, what's going on here? It's not our anniversary, or is it? Oh, yes, I have an announcement to make, replied Jonathan. What are you trying to do? Whispered Veronica. Like your mother said, I have an announcement to make, said Jonathan. Babe, please don't do this, Veronica said, holding his hand. Do you want to go to jail? I told you before, I'd rather go to jail than remain in this marriage with you. Now let go of my hands. Soon, Janet arrived. Oh, you're here as well, Jonathan said as he continued. I am divorcing my wife. I know you all have your opinions about me, but it doesn't matter anymore. Veronica tried to plead with her husband that he shouldn't do this. Janet told her, No, Veronica, it's for the best. Daniel tried to convince Jonathan that he is making another mistake, but he told him not to bother, that his mind is made up. All I need you people to do is to help her pack her things because she is leaving this house today. And while you're at it, please take a look at your phones. I just sent you a message, Jonathan said as he stepped out of the house. Moments later, after they had all gone through the video clip that Jonathan sent to them all, they were all disappointed in Veronica, and most especially in themselves for not trusting Jonathan, who some of them had known before they met Veronica. Veronica, how could you? You pushed him and went ahead to cut yourself so that we can believe that he did that to you. No wonder Angela said it was impossible for Jonathan to hit a woman. How come I didn't believe her too? Said Janet. Veronica, you made us all hate him. For what? Said Daniel. Veronica, why did you do this? Why? Patience shouted. Because I didn't want my marriage to be like that of you and Dad. Dad beat you up until the day he died. Men are always abusing their women. Even my sister's husband beat her until he put her in a wheelchair. I just wanted to be different, said Veronica. Veronica, where did you get that from that men are always beating their women? And so you decided to become the abuser instead, Janet said. I just wanted to be different. I wanted an assurance card. I'm so sorry. I did all this because I love him. I love him so much, said Veronica. Did you think your father didn't love me when he was hitting me? Patience said. Veronica, do you know what you just did? You just turned me against my brother. Veronica, you're wicked, said Janet. Several times he would tell me he never touched you, but I didn't believe him. Girl, you need a therapist, said Daniel. Please help me beg him. I didn't mean to push him. I was just hungry and scared that he would leave me, said Veronica. Oh, please. Do you know how many times I heard your father say that? Yet he continued. And so did you, said Patience. Janet got up to go and apologize to her brother, who was sitting outside the house, feeling sober and wondering what next life has in stock for him after all he had gone through in the past 3 marriages. I'm sorry, brother, pleaded Janet. It's not your fault, said Jonathan. No, I know you and I should have believed you. I should have known that you would never hate any woman. I'm so sorry, said Janet. You know, the interesting thing is that I'm not even angry. I'm happy that I am free, replied Jonathan. Daniel soon came to join them and told Jonathan how sorry he was to not have believed his best friend and that he had to go through all that all alone. Then it was time for Veronica to leave with her luggage in company of her mother. They were so ashamed as they could not even say goodbye to Jonathan and the others, as Veronica took one final look at the house she once called home. Jonathan decided to treat Angela to a sumptuous dinner at a fine restaurant to appreciate her for her advice, which has given him the freedom he so much craved for the past few months. You're welcome. You could be anything in this world, but certainly not a woman beater, Angela said, as she also tried to bring up the issue of them getting back together. That she was sorry and regretted letting herself to be deceived by another man. But Jonathan made her understand that he had come to realize that marriage is not for everyone and that he is too broken right now and would like to be left alone. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye for now.